267 and 268. We're picking up yesterday's as well, since it was Shabbat. And today we're doing one mitzvah, which is negative commandment 251. I'm going to talk enough that to tell you enough about it, hopefully, that you'll feel like it was worth being considered two lessons. So first of all, this commandment, this mitzvah, comes from Leviticus 25:17, which says, "You shall not wrong one another, and you shall fear your God." We've already gotten, though, the commandment not to wrong one another in monetary situations. So this is referring to wronging someone in another way. And we learn that the way that's interpreted is that this is referring to wronging one another with our words. It is forbidden to verbally distress or humiliate someone else, and this is just a very big mitzvah. Here's some examples that were given from Sefer HaMitzvos. If a person has sinned in the past and then repented, you can't tell them, "Hey, thank God, he took you away from that path and brought you to this good path," or some other indirect reference to their earlier vices, because it causes them pain. They are remorseful for how they used to live. Next, if a person is suffering from illness, you can't say to them, things like Job's friends said, like, maybe God's punishing you. Then, if you see people who seek to purchase grain, don't tell them that they can obtain it by a certain person who in reality has nothing to sell. It's also, you don't want to say like, "Hey, like for instance, Bob is such a great guy. He's every time I've ever needed money, he's given to me no problem, more than I needed." And then basically you're putting Bob into this position where he's going to have to live up to that or not, and that's also an issue. All right, so then you're not supposed to enter a store and say, "How much does this item cost?" if you have no intention of buying. So you don't want to even get the shop owner's hopes up that you're going to be making a purchase. This mitzvah, this commandment, can be understood also as a mitzvah not to bully, not to bully someone else, not to be hurtful in our words. The old statement that sticks and stones break our bones, but words will never hurt me. That is wrong according to the Torah. We learned previously that you weren't supposed to wrong someone monetarily, and now we're learning that we're not to wrong someone with our words, not to hurt people with our words. And the interesting thing about this mitzvah, in Leviticus 25:17, it says, "You shall not wrong one another, and you shall fear your God." So there's an added thing to this mitzvah. Before, you learned that you weren't to wrong them monetarily. But this one says you shouldn't, to paraphrase, you shouldn't use hurtful words against someone else, and you should fear God. Meaning that if you do wrong someone else with your words, bully them, etc., then you you'll Hashem will repay you for that. And so this is actually even higher and even more something that we need to be careful of, even more so than monetary, hurting someone monetarily, overcharging them, etc. Underpaying. This is and that's such a huge thing. You're absolutely not supposed to wrong someone monetarily, but more so, we are not to wrong one another with our words. All right, thank you so much for joining me tonight. With God's help, tomorrow we will be back with a new another mitzvah, kind of along the same lines, about causing someone distress by our words. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great night. Bye-bye.